Hey guys, John here. For this module I'm going to be going over vehicle maintenance. Now I'm not going to be talking about vehicle maintenance for your fire truck or your rescue truck. I'm going to be talking about vehicle maintenance for the car that's sitting in your driveway, your daily driver, the car that takes your kids to school and brings your groceries home. Now before I got started with the fire service, I worked on cars for a living. I worked at a dealership for a little bit over 10 years, and then before that I worked at a small repair shop for about 5. I had 6 ASEs. The only 2 I was missing was manual and automatic transmissions, and I didn't get those just because I didn't feel like working on them. Now, when someone thinks about doing maintenance to their vehicle, there's 3 things they think of. They think of A, bringing their car to the dealership, B, bringing their car down the street to a local repair shop, or C, doing it themselves. And I've done all 3. And I usually prefer C because I like fixing stuff, and now my son's old enough, he's 9 now, and he helps me out. So that's quality time, and I get to fix things, so it's worth it for me. Plus I save a few bucks, well, usually more than that, depending on what I'm working on. But mostly everybody thinks of A or B, dealership or small repair shop. Now as long as both of these places have honest technicians and trained technicians, there's really no difference between the two. But there's still pros and cons between the two. Now at the dealership, the biggest pro you have is the experience. When I worked at GM, I had about 15 technicians I worked with, which equated to about 200 years of experience of working on cars. So somebody knew something about something. Another pro with the dealership is also a resource, is you actually have the manufacturer. A few times I had to call GM for an issue I had with the car, and GM flew down an engineer from Michigan to Hollandale to my dealership. So now I had an engineer helping me figure out an issue with the car. I mean, the guy basically built the thing and he's helping me. You don't have that resource anywhere else. And another good pro is when they do fix your car, you're getting genuine parts, whether it's GM, AC Delco, Motorcraft, Mopar. You're getting genuine parts on your car that are built to last and they're of high quality. And another resource that a dealership has that's a pro is they have their special tools for the repair. At GM we call these J tools, and these tools are specifically made to do a specific task, and it made your job way easier to do something. And if you didn't have this J tool, that job just became a nightmare and it took you forever to get something done. Now the con to a dealership, as everybody knows, is the labor rate. Usually dealerships are around $100 an hour, or somewhere around there. I don't know, I haven't been to a dealership in a long time. And that's just the killer. You get your check engine light in your car and it's going to cost you at least $100 for some guy to tell you what it is. And then even past that, you still have further diagnostics to see what caused that code that made your check engine light come on. So let me just kill the myth right now. A computer does not tell a technician what is wrong with the car. It's just a tool. Just like this tool, $100, Advanced Auto Parts. It paid for itself in one night. All it is a tool. It throws out a code, and then the technician has to go in the old service manual, I'm sure it's online by now, look up the code and go through a flow chart. So no, computers don't tell technicians what's wrong with the car, they just guide them in the right direction. So to small maintenance shops, the really only good pro I see with small maintenance shops is the labor rate. They're usually half or somewhere in between what a dealership would be. Now even if you had properly trained honest technicians at a small maintenance shop, they're really not trained for your specific make. They just have mostly general knowledge. But these small maintenance shops, that's, in my opinion, is where you find the most honest people because they're trying to make a living. They need their customers to come back. But dealerships, the one I was at, we had a lot of honest guys too. The ones that were dishonest, we found out and they got fired. So depending on what your maintenance issue is, depends on where you should go. If you have a check engine light on and your car's kind of newer, I'd probably bring it to a dealership. They have the better resources and they have the better technology to figure out what's wrong with your car. If you need an oil change or any other kind of fluid change, I would go down the street to your local maintenance shop because it's just fluids. Now, as long as they don't try to upsell you for any other special services like a fuel injector cleaner or anything else like that, you should be okay. You show up for an oil change, you leave with an oil change, that's a good sign you were dealing with an honest shop. So really depending on what you need is where you should go. Anything little, take it to the guy down the street. He can handle it for you a lot cheaper than a dealership could. If it's something you think would be more complicated, go ahead and bring it to a dealer. They're better adapted to deal with the issue you're having. Now, if you're the C guy, the do-it-yourself guy, this little guy can save you a lot of money. And if you want to spend the money and you have the know-how, go ahead and get the service manual for your car. I have 3 sets of service manuals. This is for my wife's car. There's 2 other books that are thicker than this one. But if you have the know-how, it's a great tool to have. And even just having this is a lifesaver sometimes, because sometimes your check engine light comes on for a very stupid reason. Your gas cap's off. EVAP system. You get a code like that, 9 times out of 10, it's your gas cap. Even though newer cars don't have gas caps now, so I don't know, that's way out of my realm now. I'm an old school guy, I guess. But again, it can be a time saving. So that's pretty much it. And actually, if you guys have any questions, just leave it in the comment or reply to the thread and I'll see if I can answer them for you. But you guys have a good night. Thank you.